Hey guys, this is Mr. McDonald coming at you from an undisclosed COVID-19 free location. Today we're going to start working on Chapter 7, the nervous system. So we're going to get into the basic functions of the nervous system in this lesson. The nervous system is essentially like wires, or like coaxial cables, or like Romex wires, and they carry electrical impulses around your body. And what we're going to get into is the functions of that. So if we check out our first slide here, let's see here. I guess I got to click on it. There we go. We get into the functions of the nervous system. And if we skip ahead here, what we're going to set up today is this little loop here. And it's commonly called a decision-making loop. It has applications in the business world. It has applications in the military. People like Boyd studied this significantly, and they've applied it to different aspects of our everyday lives. It has its place in marketing, in trying to figure out what types of media you want to use to get your material out there to sell whatever it is you're trying to sell. It also has other aspects where it's used. But in our body, in terms of anatomy and physiology, we start out with the little eye there, which is a sensory receptor. And we've dissected eyes, so we know about eyes. And in the retinas, we have these special types of nerve cells called rods and cones. And they are able to detect changes in light that enters the eye. And when we observe those changes, we need to be able to communicate that information, which brings us to the optic nerve. And the optic nerve then left our eye, and we all felt and saw the optic nerve, and that went to our brain. So again, we've just hit two different types of nerve cells there. One type was, hang on, let me get my thumb in the picture, is a sensory receptor that detects some type of change in our environment. The second type is just like a wire that's going to carry that information to our brain so that we can do something with it. Okay? Usually in class, man, I throw a Nerf ball at someone, and we see if they catch it or if it just hits them in the head. And we talk about what went into that reaction. So the first thing that we have, again, is a sensory receptor that notices a change in our environment. Those are nerve cells that do that. Then we carry that information to our brain, yet another type of nerve cell. And in our brain, we're going to make some type of decision based on previous knowledge, based on our environment, based on our personal beliefs, based on the outcome that we want. We're going to make some type of decision. In here, it's called integration. Okay, and then once we make that decision, we have to make that happen, and that's where motor output happens. And again, motor output is yet another nerve cell that carries the information to our usually muscles, but sometimes they go to our endocrine system for some type of hormonal response, but it usually goes to muscles, and that creates the response that we're looking for. All right, so in the case of our picture here, it looks like it's going to our soleus or our gastrocnemius for some type of lower leg movement. All right, so there's 5 parts of this decision-making loop. We have to determine that there's something happening in the environment, so that's our sensory receptor. We have to send that information to our brain. That's part 2. In our brain, we have to integrate it. Then we have to send our response out to our effector organ. And our effector organ, 9 times out of 10, is a muscle or some type of gland. And that effector organ then carries out the response that we've decided. So if we kind of go back to our slides here, we have a sensory input again. We gather information. That's our stimuli that we see going on in our external environment. Again, think rods and cones. Eventually, we'll talk about mechanoreceptors, which are really cool receptors in our skin that take some type of mechanical stimuli and touch, and they change that into an electrical impulse that we can understand. Okay? And our sensory input then moves into our brain. All right? And there we decide what we're going to do with it. What do those signals mean? All right, and then last but not least, we get some type of motor output. Okay, so again, that's what we wanted to hit up on today. The last slide is kind of where we started out with our picture of our decision-making loops. Again, if you guys like this stuff, you can check out, Boyd called it a OODA loop. I think it was observe, orient, decide, and act. All right, which was a little bit different, but it's the same idea, and it's how our nervous system functions. Okay, we gather information, we move the information, we decide what to do based on the information, and then we do it. We send the decision out, and we carry out whatever it is we need to do. All right, so that is the function of our nervous system. All right, so if you guys have any questions on that, please hit me up with a email. Let me know, and I will try to address all your questions. So also, if there's any technical issues with this one, because it's the first one we're doing, let me know. Hopefully you guys are seeing the slide and seeing my pretty face. I know you guys missed me. So that's all I got. Have a good day.